when you were young. Tonight's discussion will center around the ups and downs of dating after 40. Our guests tonight have agreed to share their experiences and challenges. And as always, the goal of every show is to help somebody listening so that they are better when we finish than they were when we started. So when we come back, I will be introducing our guests who are going to keep it real and keep it raw as we talk about what it looks like to be dating after 40, the ups and the downs. So please come back for COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne, real talk with real people for real solutions on the Jericho Broadcast Network.
The COUCHver Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call COUCHver.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Welcome back to COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne. And as I say every week, y'all, the most fun is had during the commercial break when you cannot hear what is being said and it is uncensored and unfiltered. So, boy, I wish you could be a fly on the wall. But anyway, welcome back. And if you know somebody that needs to be a part of this conversation on dating after 40, the ups and downs, you better tell them to get here quick, because I can assure you, I don't know what might come out of the mouths of some of my guests. So welcome to my guests. I'm so excited that you all are here. And I'm going to let them, as I do every week, I want my guests to introduce themselves, because I don't like for people to talk about me. So I like for people to share what they want to share about themselves. And then sometimes I will share their personal business if I know it. So we're going to start with the ladies first. I'm going to start with the person that I've known the least. So I'm going to take it over here to Tanya. Hey, Tanya.
Hey, good evening. I'm Tanya Buford. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I'm now in the Florida area. And I am over 40, almost over 50, you might as well say. And I'm single and dating. And what else you need to know?
Tell them about Singles Pop-Up.
Well, I hated the dating apps. You got the scammers, you got the ghosters. I mean, there's all kinds of names for it. And so I said, you know what? I want to get off of this and take it back to when we used to meet people back in the day, organically in the grocery store, you know, Home Depot, that kind of thing, a party, what have you. So I decided to infuse my event planning business with doing events for singles. Okay. And so now I initiate and host face-to-face events for singles. And I also do a little bit of coaching and just trying to get singles to be positive and find their passion, and then they'll find that ideal person.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya.
You're welcome.
All right. We're going to go to Tony, who is driving, and I need her to be safe.
I am. My name is Tony Blackshear. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a Rattler of Dr. Adrienne. And I am 51 and single right here in the beautiful city of Atlanta. And it is a very, very difficult task. So that's who I am. Take it or leave it. You gotta love me.
Thank you, Tony. And what I can tell you for sure, I am getting to know Tanya, but I know Tony and I know Kelly. And so those two are going to definitely keep it 100 tonight. My soror Kelly Smith.
Good evening. I am Kelly LaDon Smith. I'm from outside of Detroit. I lay my head right now in, they call it the Nasty Natty. I'm not gonna tell you what I call it, but I live in Cincinnati, and dating here is it's just unreal. I know Dr. Adrienne, as she said, I'm her beta alpha soror. I'm her. And I started to put on my shirt that says, I'm not for everyone, but it wasn't iron, old school, we have to have our stuff crisp. But I'm 52. I'll be 53 in May. And I'm single and cutting them off left and right. Been divorced a couple times. And you named it dating. We're going to get down to that real situation because I don't even know if that happens anymore. Okay. And that's where I'm struggling right now. Okay. So I got my paper. I'm about to take notes.
I know that's right, because I'm sure that these gentlemen that I have asked to join us are going to keep it 100 as well, representing for the men. I'm going to go to Kevin first before I bring it lastly to my brother, Al. Kevin?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time in the world it is, you might see this. So, my name is Kevin Tillers, originally from Chicago, Illinois. I currently reside in Dallas, Texas. Last 6 years after retiring from the Army, after 20 plus years. So, definitely got some things we could share. I definitely have some things I can share, being married twice and out here in this dating scene after being in a new relationship with my career. So, I can say it again for the folks in the back. In a relationship with my career while I'm out in this dating scene.
Thank you, Kevin. And finally, last but certainly not least, my brother, A. London Arrington, that you all will hear me call Al, because that's what I've been saying our whole lives. So yeah, same person.
Yep, it's the same person, but when you call me that, I will correct you. So here it is. My name is A. London Arrington. I'm also a Rattler. I love T Black and I love Kelly and I love my homegirl because they are Rattler women. And you just gotta know, you know what I'm saying? And Tanya, I care for you deeply, but you weren't on the yard. So but here's what it is. Here's what it is. I am from Montgomery, Alabama. I was over in the capital city while Adrienne was growing up on red clay and dirt in Tuskegee. She has the type of dirt going, her daddy has a type of dirt going to her house that's the same color as her hair and her glasses. I put on my rose-colored glasses because I'm who I am. I'm a human being. Everything else that I have and that I've acquired or whatever is just material things, but I'm just a human being. And that being is just believing and executing. I'm still open to love. I've never been married. I don't have any children. I've never been in love. And I will tell you what I've been doing for a great portion of my adult life. A lot of you all might feel some kind of way about it, but you will always say one thing about me: I am brutally honest.
You're going to keep it real. You're going to keep it 100. Well, y'all know I have so many questions that I have written down. And let me just say this. 30 years ago, whatever, I never would have thought that I would even be in this category with you all. So, I too am dating after 40 or something. I single after 40, whatever it is. And if I can say this, it's a whole shit show out here. I mean, I'm just going to be, I know I wasn't supposed to say that, but every now and then I will slip up and say one. And I think that for many different reasons, some of which I covered in my opening, when you're in your 20s and 30s and your priority is dating and you don't have real bills and real obligations or whatever, things look a lot differently. And then by the time you've gotten to a certain age, you got some baggage unless you have unpacked your junk and dealt with it, which a lot of people have not. So y'all, one of the things that I did prior to us coming on here, I called up some other single people, men and women, and I wanted to know from them, what are your challenges? Because I wanted to then see if some of the challenges that you all are experiencing were the same as some of these. So one person said, one of the challenges in dating over 40 is women over 40 having children and making the decision to engage in rearing someone else's children. Someone else said, my career is important, so I don't really have time to date. That's a challenge. Somebody else said, having had negative experiences that have scarred them. Somebody else asked, are we compatible emotionally, physically, spiritually, and financially? And then someone said, is the person physically appealing and in shape in the way that I am in shape? And y'all can kind of figure out maybe from the questions, from the responses, which ones were men and which ones were women. But what have you found to be the greatest challenge in dating at this age? Don't y'all want me to call on you? You want to raise your hand and go? Because I want to hear from everybody. What are your what's your greatest challenge?
Well, I haven't had
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I haven't had a date in about two plus years. I think it's lack of options is the problem. And when I say options, we all have, what we like and what we don't like. Mm-hmm. And when you get in a certain age, I'm 52, I'll be 53 at the end of this year, you're set in your ways. And so you want to be compatible with someone, but the pool of men are not there. So I choose to be single on purpose because I don't want to settle. And so I just feel like it's hard to find quality men. And maybe it's where I live. I don't know. But that's occurred to me that maybe I need to, pick up my boots and move somewhere else. But where do you go to find a professional, educated, seasoned man that is not into games, not into, all that drama, just want to go out, have a good time and build a life with. And so it's just trying to find that person in a pool full of idiots is basically what I'm doing.
Woo, y'all, we got the questions popping up tonight. I knew this was going to be hot. Somebody has already said, where do you go to meet decent people? Okay, we're going to come back. And her name happens to be Adrienne. Adrienne, we're going to come back and see if we can't get an answer for your question after we do this round robin. What are the challenges? And Tanya, I think it's some good brothers out there. I do. Now, which rocks we have to look up under the find them? Yeah,
and that's the other part of it. Because if you're a career woman, I have 2 businesses. I work a part-time job. I manage a food truck. So I'm hustling. I'm out here. I'm getting it done. So that's the other aspect is, where do you meet them? Where do you go if you do have an active life?
Yeah.
Okay. And
right. What'd you say, Kelly?
Can they handle it? That's my challenge. Because I heard what Tanya said. I understand and I agree. Sometimes, and let's just be real. I just was in a 5-year relationship. Did I think that I would be single at 52, almost 53 from 2015? I thought that was going to be my 3rd husband. Trust me. And still love that joker.
And 3
Adrienne, you see my post. You know I'm still up, but it is what it is. But at the end of the day, what Tanya just said, I cater on the side. I'm an engineer. I have a travel agency, which, COVID just pretty much sucked up both of my little side hustles. And it was always, well, I didn't say it was nothing wrong with you doing XYZ. I'm fine with that. But it's this, and you don't have time for this. At 50-something years old, now, mind you, that one is 59, about to be 60 in a couple months. It don't have to be a professional person for me, per se. I come from a blue-collar family. I'm from Detroit. My parents, my cousins, my uncles, my nieces, my aunts, everybody worked and threw them sling them parts at Ford, GM, and Chrysler. But I lived a great life.
Somebody said 5 years is a long time to date somebody, because I was thinking the same damn thing.
Well, that's why I'm quite surprised what happened. I mean, we lived together for 2 years. I'm pissed. And I look at that joker in Cincinnati and like, I don't even know you. And I mean, I have gotten the Detroit girl came back. Right. I had turned into the Cincinnati girl, so we'll get into that. But at the end of the day, don't get me wrong. It wasn't no we just date. See, when y'all say dating, no, that was my man. That's why I don't like that dating over 40. Yeah, that's where I'm kind of confused. But challenges are sometimes we doing our dang old thing, men as well, and the opposite sex can't handle the truth. Like, I got the eye of the tiger, dude. If it's about making money, if I'm gonna go on 15 trips because I'm making the money, that's what I'm gonna do. Right. And if you can't handle me, then I started to wear my shirt that says I'm not for everyone. And I'm figuring that out right now. So, that's just one small challenge.
That's just one small challenge. All right.
Because dating, people just letting it go. It's getting on my nerves. It's like, they just want to do this and do that and come over my house tonight. Hell no, dude. I'm too old for that.
We're going to talk about that too, Kelly. All right, T Black.
Yes. For me, and I'm not sure how clear I am since I am in my car, but for me, dating is very difficult. One, living in Atlanta and having the challenges of competing not just with other women, but having to compete with gay men and having to compete with white women. Also, the challenges are, for me, ever since I had cosmetic surgery, the challenges have become really huge because now all of the 22, 23-year-old babies are approaching me, wanting to take me out on a date, and I can't get the men in my age group or my contemporaries to approach me and barely say hello. They just look at me and assume that maybe I'm a gold digger because I've got this hourglass figure, I'm snatched. It's a very difficult life out here, as well as being a caregiver of my mother. That also makes it challenging as well, because it goes back to once an adult, twice a child. So it's like I have a grown baby and I have to readjust my schedule to try to fit some me time in. And trying to date someone that's in my age group that is understanding of that is very difficult, because I've seen and I've observed a lot of, quite a few, not a lot, but quite enough of my male counterparts and my male friends who are married, and they run around like they're single. They're juggling 4 or 5 different women, and they have, they walk around with the abominable snowman in their pants. Okay, everything white down there, and they. I'm just saying, but they running women like they're in their 20s, and that is that's very disappointing and disheartening, because as we get older, men are getting in that stage where they are experiencing prostate issues and need to really be concerned about their prostate. Well, you're running 4 or 5 women. I need you to stop, because that prostate about to lock up, and then you're gonna be looking for a good woman to take care of you. Don't come to me when you're sick. Come to me when that thing working. And then, you know, it need to be working for a few years before we even go into the caregiver phase. You understand? So from there, that's where my biggest concerns are. And I'm just stuck. I mean, the men are looking for a certain type of woman. I don't think I fit that mold. And I'm looking for a certain type of man, but I keep getting the babies. The babies keep approaching me, the 22, 23s, 25s. My daughter is 26. There's nothing I can do with that. So that's my challenge in Atlanta. And one last statement. One of the biggest things that you have to ask in Atlanta, are you really single, or are you ATL single? Really single is you are genuinely single. No one can claim you. You're not claiming anyone. You're not in a relationship with anyone. ATL single is you're married or in a solid relationship or long-term relationship with someone, but you're running around like you're single.
That's ATL single.
That's ATL single, because that's how it goes down in the A.
Look, and we're gonna come back, because I have some terms that I want us to define. You know, because I words are fluid. But before we go to break, I got to hear from the brothers. So, and they can both be rather eloquent in their speaking. So I don't even know who to go to first. But I'm going to defer to A. London first. What are the challenges in dating over 40?
One of my main challenges is you just asked a question, and about 15 minutes have gone by with sisters griping and talking about all the things that are wrong and their careers and everything that they're doing. And here's what I'm saying. That's what adult people do. Adult people have jobs, they have passions, they have careers, they have whatever. That's what adult people do. Adult people make decisions. T Black been raw since she was 18 on the yard. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that she decided to go ahead and get snatched and have everything looking right, that's just the icing on the cake. But see, the issue is a lot of y'all coming off, and your subject and verb agreement says that you're Beyonce. So, but you got to look a little further to see if your execution match your belief system that you have for yourself, and that talk that you're talking. I got to go a little further and see if you walking the walk that you walk. And the issue is, I understand everything that every last one of y'all are saying, but I know Black and I know Adrienne, Kelly, I know of you, and Tanya, I don't know you. But here's what I'm saying: if you're in Beyonce mode, then you need to write down your criteria for Jay-Z, because a lot of y'all settling and spending time with what's that dude who made the song? I put my hand up on my hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Don't nobody know who that person is. But if you're in Beyonce mode, then why the hell are you dating that guy?
Right.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't really have a lot of problems, and I don't really have a lot of gripes, because that's general admission stuff. I'm on some VIP, so I don't even. I hear what you guys are saying, but I know that it's not applicable to me. Now, I don't have that. My biggest thing is just what I said. I made a conscious decision to take the elevator up to VIP.
Mhm.
So I left a lot of general admission conversation alone.
That's right.
And that
That's
makes
right.
me, that a lot of times that keeps me in a position where I spend a lot of time by myself and with myself. And now
Correct.
I'm learning myself. So
Mhm.
actually, I really don't have a lot of gripes. Life is good for me. Kev, go ahead, bro.
London, I have to say real quick, you are so right. This is why I'm not dating.
All right, let's let Kevin speak on it.
All good, all good. I'm basically on, man, you basically in the same path that I was on. For me, my personal challenge that I had seen in my dating journey was that it was more about communication, upfront communication. And yeah, so laying it all out on the table at the initial beginning. Like, I don't expect you to give me what you see for us in the next 10 years tonight, but lay out basically what your intentions are. What
Right.
are you looking for?
Right.
But those are probably my most biggest challenge: communications and in age. Like Tony, like the little youngsters still want to come up here. I know you like the salt and pepper, but back up, shorty. I got grandbabies. Um,
Right.
I mean, you should have hit me up about 9 years ago. I didn't care.
Right.
But listen, but it's a lot of brothers out here who are looking for somebody who is younger.
Right,
You know,
right.
Mhm.
in our age range, they want somebody that's younger. I remember having a conversation with one of my clients, and so he was talking about how, you know, she don't want to cook, and she just want to call up Uber Eats, and I said, well, how old is she? And he said she was 28.
So what did he
And I
expect?
said, you are 50. And so that's a totally different generation from you. I
Generation.
said, so if
Yeah.
you want the generation of women that grew up cooking and cleaning and going to school and working, you got to leave them 28-year-olds alone. That's somebody that's young enough to be your child, which isn't the issue. It's just that in terms of conditioning and rearing, it doesn't look the same.
But you also got to leave them 52 and 53-year-olds alone who say they're superwoman, but they can't make time to do the things that they want. See, a lot of y'all want to be superwoman, but you want a traditional dude. So you got to figure out, you got to make up your mind on what you want. Because I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to sit up here and get bashed, you know what I'm saying, about what all me. No, don't let me. I look here. Y'all done gave y'all a little monologue. So I'm going to get goddamn, I mean, I'm going to, look, that's not what I'm going, I'm not built like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you know
You're
I'm not
right.
built like that.
Yeah,
So what
but
I'm
listen,
saying
and
is,
you know I'm not gonna bash the brothers, which is why I said in the beginning, no,
Okay.
there's some good ones out here.
okay, well then let's say that then. If you're going to talk about the dude that's dating a 20-year-old, then talk about the cougars out here who want what they want because they know they don't have to do what they need to do to make a house a home because all them young boys want is what they want. So we're going to keep it balanced all night long.
But can I chime in for a minute? I mean, whoever you date, that's your business.
Yeah.
20, 50, whatever age it
Right.
is. I don't think we're bashing. I just think that just like he's complaining that she's young and not mature enough to be in his lane. The same thing with women. If a woman is dating a younger man, she already knows she's being a cougar and it's all about the sex or whatever. She's not trying to make a home with him.
Right.
But the men tend to want the young because the young is pretty and got the shape and all that, whatever that is. But then they want to complain that she's not on their level. So all we're just saying is, if you're going to date the young ones, date the young ones. Ain't nobody got a problem with that. That's what you want to do. You do that.
Right.
But don't complain that she's not the homemaker.
Right.
And all that good stuff. You know, date what you want to date, but don't complain
Exactly.
about it. And I don't have a problem with it. I don't want a tenderoni. I ain't interested. I'm trying to build a life. I'm trying to build a legacy. So I want somebody who's ready to ride with me.
Right.
Let's do it. Let's get it done. So we
listen,
all have our
I
own.
knew this was gonna get heated. I knew this was gonna
It's
be
not
an
heated.
exciting conversation. You know what? Because it's really not. Because at the end of the day, first of all, I would not have asked Kevin or Al to be on here if I thought that this was going to be a bashing session. This really is about us conversating and talking about some of the challenges. And so if somebody's challenges are their challenges, then they just their challenges. That doesn't make them their challenges with y'all. It just means that, you know, they are our challenges. And so
but when you say all men, or when you say men instead of some or many, it makes it all inclusive.
Yeah, no.
Well, so, I apologize.
I don't think anybody said
I don't
either.
If I said that, that's not what I meant. Yeah. I'm talking about the people that I encounter. So I don't categorize every man to be in this one.
Right.
Just like I wouldn't want a man to put me in a category, right? Because that's offensive. Because you don't know me, you know. Don't judge me because I'm a female. And you just all females the same. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, y'all, the conversation really is about, you know, how when we get to be a certain age, you know, we all change every day. We don't all grow every day, but we all change every day. And so for some people, you have taken the things that you have learned throughout your changing process, and it has made you a better person. Sometimes that means encountering some people who might be in your same age range who have not learned anything from their journey. And so I think that that's what the conversation is about. And so when we come back, because we got to take a break, but when we come back, y'all, I want to talk about some definitions, because sometimes the lingo is confusing to me when I hear talking, dating, relationship, companionship, single. I'm like, when did those words become so fluid that depending on what mouth they coming out of, they become different? So we're gonna go to a quick break, but this is COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne on the Jericho Broadcast Network. Please come back and join us. You can tell this is a lively group I got on here. Love them so much.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
Welcome back to COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne. And when I tell y'all, it get hot during them commercial breaks. But I just love the passion and energy that all my guests have brought to the table. That's why I knew they were the perfect ones for this conversation. So before we went to break, I said that when we came back, I wanted to ask some questions about, terminology, because I'll be honest with y'all. I've been divorced 3 years, and I thought words had one definition. I really did. I consider myself to be kind of scholarly. And what I'm finding out is that depending on who you are talking to, all this junk means something different. And so I think that we need to bring some clarity in terms of this process of dating over 40, and just what these different definitions can mean to certain people, what their interpretation of them is. So I'm going to throw it out here, and then I want to know from everybody what this means to you. Okay. So the word talking, when someone, and what does it look like in terms of a time frame? What are we talking about here when we talk about, so what does talking mean? Kevin, you laughing.
No, because first thing I was going to say,
we was teenagers.
It's a lot of it is regional. First of all, I think.
Okay.
First up is regional, and inbred, for lack of better words, indoctrinated in that region.
Okay.
But growing up in Chicago, talking to me was more like Kelly said, that teenage shit right there. We just kicking it. It's whatever. Whoever you with at that moment, we just filling it out. If you good, you good. If you ain't, you ain't. Whatever.
So, but at 40, because you ain't or 40 plus, because you got a birthday coming up. Shout out for Kevin. He'll join the over 50 crew.
Yeah. So after 40, I mean, so I had a caveat back for you. So your last segment, I think that part of the problem is one of my mantras: know you, be you, do you. You've seen that on my clothing line, cmmg.us. Stop by at TD and you find your own merchandise there. So, but knowing yourself, being yourself, and doing yourself, I think that's part of the problem. And a lot of people don't get there the same trajectory. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, that's why I was like, kicking it still worked for me about till 42. And I was honest with myself. I know who I was.
You said doing what?
Yeah, I was still kicking it.
Hitting it. Okay, hitting it.
Kicking it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said hitting. Hold on. I'm sorry.
I thought he said pimping.
That all of those could be a byproduct of kicking it, but that's not what I said.
Okay, kicking it.
Right. Just kick it. So yeah, that was kicking. All right, I'm out.
So talking at this age means what to you?
I ain't doing it.
Or is that even a word you use? Because it may not be a part of your vernacular.
Yeah, I don't know if kicking it or talking is in my vocabulary, because what gentleman said about a certain age of communication.
Yeah.
I think when you meet someone, you need to be totally brutally honest about what your expectations are
and your intention.
And if that person is like, hey, I'm not really trying to be that serious or whatever that is, then you know where you are. So just talking, I mean, I ain't got time to be just talking. I could be making money. So we ain't got time to just be talking.
Right.
So I mean, we need to be getting to know each other, but we also need to be clear on what we want, where we want out of it. Yeah.
Tony, let me ask you a question. If that's where you are and you made it abundantly clear that you're about your paper and your business, then what verb should I do when I approach you and I want to spend time with you? What do you call it?
Just what you just said. You walk up to me and say, you know what? You seem like a very intelligent young lady. Do you have a few minutes? Let's go get dinner and let's talk.
So we're talking.
So wait a minute. So I got a question now. So is that dating?
Right.
No, that's just getting to know the person. You're going on a date. You're going to see if it's going to lead to dating.
Okay. So
does that make sense?
That's talking.
That's talking.
Okay. Well then, let's just go back. Let's circle back. It's talking.
Okay.
Right.
So what's dating, Al? What is dating?
I guess dating is if you go on multiple dates. So now you've gone out on a date. You've expressed what you're looking for. They've expressed what they are looking for. And you both are on the same page, so you keep going out just to see if everything, keep mushing together.
Okay, so that's from a female's perspective, because
so guys got to give their perspective.
I want to know what you all think. What is dating?
Listen, I don't even have no perspective on no one word trying to describe. That like I said, I mean, that's ridiculous to me. So I'm not about to even give you no answer on the difference between them. Whoever came up with that question, Adrienne, God bless him. I'm not answering this. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. I'm grown enough to establish off rip when I meet who I meet, how I'm going to approach them and what it's going to be. And between the two of us, if I want to talk to Tanya, I'm going to walk up to Tanya and say, "Look, Miss Lady, it might be a little left of center, but here's what it is. I see you about your business. I see your food truck. I see your I Dream of Jean and ponytail and your sexy librarian glasses. Let me get this phone number. Let's exchange some subject verbs agreement, and I'm gonna tell you what it is I want up front. Now, whatever you want to call that, Tanya. Now, Kelly, I see your blonde hair. You know what I'm saying? I see you do what you do. I remember you from back in the day. You Scott P's homegirl. You real close with Scott Parker. Tell you what I want to do. We're in two different places. I spend a lot of time on the road doing what I do. I can fly you to see me. I can fly up and see you. We can have dinner. We can talk for a minute virtually. Now, whatever you want to call that, Kelly, let's call that. See, that's what grown people do. All this about different things, whatever. See, that's what. See, that's the difference between general admission and VIP, right there.
That's the difference. That's the difference between a man and a boy. That's the difference between a man and a boy. What you just said.
I agree with that. But we
love the general admission
because I hear it so often that it's like I'm just trying to help people understand. Well, so where is the breakdown really occurring, and is it inside of the way that we see the language? Because we're all a product of our upbringing and our experiences. And so, Al knows me better than anybody on here. We've been friends since we were 18. And so he knows who my ex was. And so that's who I was. That's the only person I dated at FAMU. Like, that was it. And so in terms of being out here dating and being single, this is some new shit for me. Yeah. And so you don't know when something comes out of somebody's mouth because it's not my perspective. I'm like, because I think when somebody says something about talking, I'm like, what? I was really about to say one then. Like, what is that? When I'm 53 years old. And I'm established. I know what I bring to the table. I know all of that. So
here's what it is. Here's what it is. So how many years have I said to you that there's some things that you have to teach somebody how to be off rip. You're not Latavia. Shit, you Beyonce. So don't nobody know what Latavia is. They know Latoya, they know Michelle, they know Kelly, they know all, you know what I'm saying? So what you, that narrative that they give you, they say, hey, let me holler at you for a second. No, you can't holler at me, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm right. I'm here now, so you can tell me if we can converse. And then we can get to what we need to get to. And then so all that stuff about what we gonna call it, come on, man, that's general admission, Doc. But
I hear it all the time.
I don't hear it. I don't deal with people who got problems trying to figure out a noun or a verb.
Right. You need a label on what the dynamic that you and your partner got. That I feel like you're setting up a label for the world. It ain't about you and your partner.
It's by
whatever y'all call this thing.
That's not necessarily
that's some man stuff there, Kevin.
Man, there ain't no man stuff.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, because you have to establish where you are with the person that you're dating.
Right.
Okay,
and
that's what he just said.
If you go on multiple dates, he said the label is for the world.
No, he said the label for.
If you need a label, but I mean, if you're overly concerned about what to call this thing and you commit it to one another, I think that's more unnecessary stress you put on yourself in this relationship. Why is there? If you two know what you're doing, I don't think outside needs to be concerned with the label. We're in a relationship. There's nothing else to be called.
Listen, but
you're not into profession.
They don't even know what they're doing inside of it. Like they doing
that's on y'all, but that's on
they don't even know what they're doing.
That's what I say.
Come on, man. We just spent 15 minutes talking about a noun or a verb. Right. It is what those people make it. And everything else that they trying to figure out, they're trying to figure out what to tell their girlfriend that we doing. But if I'm doing something with Tanya,
I think that is a part of it, Al. I think that is a part of it. you know, that was a conversation that I had on the radio station earlier today when, you know, I was on Derek Bozeman's show and he was saying, but if it's a man who doesn't get down about Valentine's Day, he doesn't believe in that. He thinks that, oh, love is something you display every day. I said, let me be clear in terms of what women have an expectation of. On Valentine's Day, nigga, you better show up and do something. And it is so that she can have that conversation, because some girls are going to ask, girl, what he do for you? Men and women are not wired the same.
That's y'all problem. Y'all worried about.
But if you with the person, though, but if you with the person,
that's not a problem. It's just a difference.
It's a wrap.
Tanya, listen, I'm not. I know.
I'm with you, and you don't do nothing for me for my birthday and Valentine's Day and Christmas. It's a wrap. I'm with you. I ain't talking about no dating. I ain't talking about dating. I'm talking about if me and you have this label for the world or whatever, we know what the hell we are. But you don't come with a card or something on Valentine's Day.
Right.
I don't care about Valentine's Day because I buy my own everything anyway. But it's
if you don't care about it, why you bring it up?
Right.
No, because I do agree with that. It's an American-made holiday. To me, that's an excuse for dudes to, you know, kind of, and women to come and, well, and if they ain't got no money, it's American-made holiday. You got $1, go to the dollar store and get a damn candy bar and a doggone card and a balloon. That's $3.
Because women a lot of times will act like it's a holiday where women are supposed to be celebrating. No, it's a holiday where love is supposed to be celebrated, and women should acknowledge the person that they are in a relationship with as well. So I don't think it should be
Kevin made a comment about
something that you're into and you're inside of a relationship. A big part of that has to be, when do we have the conversations about what the expectations are inside of this? And so when I was talking about the terminology app, that was the reason I was talking about it, because people interpret where they are. I hear people say all the time, I'm not in a relationship. And I have to correct people. A relationship is an exchange of words or experiences between two people. That is a relationship. Now, we talking about a friendship, a kinship, a situationship, a romantic relationship. Those are different types of relationships. But people got to stop saying, oh, we ain't in a relationship, and you on the phone talking to people, or you hanging out with people. You in a relationship. Hey, Tony, welcome back, girl.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I had some dead zone going on with this bad weather here.
I'm just glad you safe. It has gotten very passionate, and
I hear.
So I said I wanted to talk about the terminology, and Al keeps saying, you know.
And I'm gonna tell you one more time. If these people call me Al outside of this show, I'm gonna be pissed, because I'm gonna go off on them, cuss their ass out.
Well, listen, you know I can't call you other than what I've been calling you.
But you're gonna be responsible for them getting handled outside of this call.
Anyway,
and I ain't know that was your name.
Bingo. Until she said it.
That is his name. So, you know, look, it's hard to break some habits. But anyway, I was talking about the fact that inside of this whole dating over 40 thing, sometimes the terminology means different things to different people. And so I was just kind of asking everybody, what did this mean? And companionship is one that I've heard too. Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm just trying to understand. If somebody says, I'm looking for companionship, because companionship is a relationship.
Companionship
that's a friend.
Just for right now. This is my boo for the moment. That's a companionship. I'm just looking, I'm bored. I want to go out. I want to do something. I have a companion that I can call. That's what a companionship.
And it's not a friend with benefits. It's just
it can be. It can be
just a cool person.
But again, just going back, you know, I know we're talking about the ships. I call them the ships.
Yeah.
But going back to the original thing, I think if you know what you want and you meet someone and they want the same thing, then you go out and you see if you can do the same thing together. I hear the guys about giving it labels. That's not something they do. But I think what we have to also understand that women and men have love languages. And so majority of females, I'm not speaking for everybody, want to feel like they belong to you.
Right.
So we like the label of, this is my boo, this is my babe. or whatever.
Whatever.
That just established the road that we're going to take.
Tanya,
right?
Can I interject just for a second, please?
Sure.
Because this is an issue for me. Neither one of us said that we didn't like labels. Number one, Kevin said, and see, I'm a man who knows how to deal with effective listening. Kevin clearly said nothing about not wanting to use labels. What he said was that whatever label you come up with between the two of you is just fine. What a lot of people worry about is what the label is. The third party, the label is for the third party. And why worry about the third party if you and I are sure that we understand what we're calling. See, this is how, see how he's shaking his head. See what y'all dealing with.
No, you're right. He did say that. I'm sorry, I misinterpreted, but he did say that. You're right.
Okay. See, what we're dealing with here is you guys collectively, maybe, and some of the ladies who are watching here, you guys keep dealing with Jimmy Washington. But what you want is Denzel Washington with a touch of Tupac. So what y'all should do is recognize what you got when you need it. See, because Kevin clearly said 15 minutes ago what he said, and I agreed. And we spent 15 minutes going around like this when that man said what he said, and it was abundantly clear when he said it 15 minutes ago. Brother, am I right?
I say.
Where you got to go?
I'm going back to mute.
Listen, we are not, listen, y'all, this is healthy discussion. This is not a debate. And not only that, y'all, this is not the men against the women. So I'm going to throw this out here. So that's going to break all this shit up right here. Now, based on as a woman, as a man, now let's talk about some of the triflingness of the way you see it from a man dating over 40, or the way you see it from a woman dating over 40. That'll break all that up, because we're not at odds with each other. And I think that what we have to agree, y'all, is that it is challenging, and it's challenging based on some of the stuff you've been through, your upbringing, your experiences, all of that. But it's a lot of people out here who are playing games, and that's the bottom line. And I brought up the definitions because why are there two Tonys on here? Do y'all see two Tonys? Tony, it's two of you. Maybe it's just me.
Because she's every woman. It's all
that's some weird stuff right now. But I think that, the reason that I brought up the definitions is because of a lot of the stuff that comes to the couch that I hear people saying that causes such confusion and conflict. And I'm thinking, well, is it really that confusing? That's why I posed the conversation. That's why I wanted to talk about it here, because it's a lot of people who are listening who are going through this very stuff, and they trying to figure their stuff out. And it's just not as simple for everybody. Everybody's not as evolved and on the same level at the same time.
So now, when you talk about superficial earlier, like when you talked about superficial earlier, when the ladies talked about being superficial, I think that you started off with this about being the labels or the terminologies. I still think that's a sub-component of that communication with whoever might approach you initially. Let's talk about what this looks like, and then we can move forward and, have that dialogue. But like you said, Adrienne, everyone doesn't move at that same pace during their journey. It's all, but I think there's even more to it. Is that individual got to know who they are, what they want, and do some inner work. And laws of attractions is real.
Right.
How you love yourself and treat yourself and what you're looking for out there, that ain't gonna come to you if my man said you got Louis Washington, but you're looking for Denzel Washington.
Jimmy Washington.
Jimmy, Louis, all them the wrong Negroes,
Ain't none of them Denzel. So look, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to know from your perspective, some of the things that women bring to the table over 40 that are challenges for dating. That's what I'm asking the ladies. And for the fellas, the same thing. What are the challenges that you think, maybe not you, but your boys who ain't right? What's the bull crap that they're putting out here that's causing some of the challenges that women are experiencing? So we'll be back with COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne and the crew. dating over 40, the ups and downs. So please invite somebody to join in this conversation for our last hour.
Okay, party people in the house, you're about to witness something you've never witnessed before. They say they want, they say they want.
Can't you just take a chance on my love? And I got a job, car in the driveway, not a Benz, but you can come my way, I'll take care of you. Hey, woo. I don't even think they know what they say they want. Do they know? Do they know?
You're the kind of man looking for a younger brand. Haven't you learned by now that she won't stay around? But I'm the perfect boy. I'll share your hopes and dreams. I'll raise a family. I could be your destiny.
Because I make it different.
Welcome back to COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne. Oh, Lord have mercy. Let me just say this. Real talk with real people for real solutions. And we are having some very spirited dialogue about dating after 40, the ups and downs. I have some wonderful guests who are on here letting us peek into their lives and their experiences. So I posed the question going into the break about what are some of the things that, you know, we see as women from other women that is BS in terms of why dating after 40 is like it is. And then I want the brothers to kind of talk about some of the things that they see, because it's not a bashing session. It's about us talking about what these challenges look like. And everybody's challenges don't look the same. You know, as somebody who was married for 29.5 years, who dated at 19 and 20 years old, certainly at 53 years old, my expectations look totally different than they did then. And my experiences have been a whole shit show. I mean, I can't come up with nothing else. And I say that because there are people who are not secure with who they are. And I know this goes for women too. I deal with them from the couch all the time. Have brokenness and have not healed. I deal with women who want to hold every man accountable for what one man did to her. You know, so all of those things present challenges when you talk about what this dating thing over 40 looks like. So now I want to hear from you. Y'all quiet? T Black.
Yes.
Go ahead.
This dating over, for me, is dating over 50. I haven't dated in so many years. I don't really understand. Honestly, from my perspective, I don't know if I even know how to date anymore. Because it's been so many years. And I think with social media, poor communication, and men and women communicating through the internet versus, as Tom said earlier, organically or face-to-face, it's changed the dating game tremendously. I'm not into online dating because there are so many scammers and trolls, just some awful people out here in the world who are looking to reel someone in and truly take advantage of them, versus me being able to see them face to face, look them in their eyes, and grasp their spirituality to see whether I get a good vibe or not off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm looking at them face to face, I can dig a little bit deeper into their soul. Whereas on the computer, I'm just looking at a computer screen. I may not even be seeing the real person. It may be a catfish. So I'm really not into social media or online dating. So I find myself really not dating much. And then being in Atlanta and the elements of having to compete with men and other women, rather, because I'm not a man, but having to compete with other women and also having to compete with men for that same man, it's a bit much. And a lot of times as straight heterosexual women like myself, we don't realize that we're competing with a man for that man that may be trying to get our attention.
Hmm.
He may be on the down.
So, but Tony, in terms of women your age,
right,
and the bull crap that they are bringing to me,
right,
that present challenges. What would you say about that? Because I've already said women
people have. I think that this has become an age of women truly settling, because based upon where they're living, there may not be a lot of men available. So there are a lot of women out here that's just dating a man just to say I got a man, just to have a piece of man. And you have a lot of women out here dating married men, which is a huge demographic, because there's so many single women out here. That's one of the huge challenges. There are more women to men, and it's just not a lot of good men to go around. Good men, a lot of times that's out there, we tend to ignore because they may not fit the criteria that we're looking for.
The list.
Right. They may not fit the list. And I believe as you get older, that list has to change. And it continuously needs to change as you get older. However, you don't need to lower your morals, your values, your ethics. You don't need to settle when it comes to your values.
The non-negotiables, and I'm going to ask.
Yeah, there are non-negotiables.
Yeah, I'm going to ask.
But when it comes to sex and money and children, that can change over time.
Yeah.
Because having 30-something-year-old men approach me, I'm not having any more babies. There's nothing else coming up out of this engine. If I got to have it.
Okay. All right.
Non-negotiable.
Okay, let's go to Kelly. Kelly, in terms of what it is you see from women our age, that, you know, what's the energy that they're putting out there that is off-putting to men, that's causing the challenges?
Well, I've always said, and when I say always, you know, just girlfriend conversation with another friend or whatever, 50-something years old that's also single. And I believe this wholeheartedly, that I feel that us women sometimes has messed up the dating game. I think we have messed it up. Kind of going back to what London said about, you know, being the superwoman and everything is doing for everybody else, except when you come home, you know, did you clean the bathroom today? I mean, not to say that you have to, but I just feel like we've messed it up. And then Tony mentioned about like dating married men. That side chick, I do not tolerate that. Now, when you guys talk about communication and expectation in the beginning, that's definitely high on my list, because a lot of people have side chicks and they've had them forever. That's just what they've done. I don't tolerate it, period. And I think us women have kind of tolerated things that we shouldn't, especially at this age. I always would say things like, can somebody just please tell me chivalry isn't dead? I mean, you know, I'm not saying that I got to wash the dishes every time I come home and dude, you got to take the trash out and shovel the snow. You know, that's definitely, that would be wonderful. But at the end of the day, sometimes I feel like chivalry is dead. I just think that we have kind of let our guard down as women, that's been in relationships, that's been married for many, many years, that's been divorced. And it's just kind of like, you know, that piece of man, like she mentioned, is it right? Is a good no. And at our age, and I am also learning of the mistakes that, you know, that I made in this 5-year relationship as well as the marriages. So it's a long list. But right now, you know, I'm just at a point I ain't tolerating SHIT, and I'm coming off hard. I am. You know, people trying to kind of get in right now, and I'm like, dude, I told you, I'm not with it. I don't want, well, you're not letting nobody in. So, you know, we have that fence too, that guard up. Mm-hmm. And then a little bit on the online dating that Tony mentioned. I hear you. I have my first husband I met online back in the day, and I also know some people that's married doctors online and they engineers and this is that other. You can't just put that all in one bag because we are so busy and we are older. Who got time to just, you know, go to the club? Who got time to go out? You know, and then you go to church, and then you can meet that devil at church, just like that devil that's sitting online. Now, my thing with online, you know, and I've done it, especially moving to a different city. That's the first thing people will say, you know, get online so you can meet some people. You have to still use your common sense online as you do in public and in person. And you know, you still kind of get to know them. I'm not going to talk to somebody online for 10 weeks and you're not taking me out for coffee so I can see you, so I can see your soul, so I can understand. And if you can't spell, and if that dang on profile is talking jibber jab, you're not getting over here. So it can be a two-way street, especially at our age. You know, the ones that like eHarmonies and the ones that you have to pay for, those are a little bit better as far as quality. And being that we're too old to just kind of be out here in the street, and COVID, you know, this COVID dating is killing me now.
Right.
So, you know, I just think that we have settled over the years, and I don't want to put the whole batch in one, you know, one ball in a batch, because what everybody is saying is really, I'm over here taking big notes. So this is a great learning experience from a male point of view, female point of view. Yeah. Regional point of view. So, you know, that's what I think, that we have kind of settled, and we've messed up the dating game where men are just kind of taking advantage. I would say women too. You know, well, what happened to the come on, take me to dinner? The first thing you want to do is meet me at happy hour. Now that's a Cincinnati thing. If they don't go to happy hour, they don't do nothing. It ain't like Atlanta, it ain't like Dallas, it ain't like Detroit or Florida. That's driving me crazy. Everything here is freaking happy hour. And then they feel that's a date. No, dude, that's not a date. Thank you for my drinks. Deuces. So
and you know, Kelly, that brings me to, and I don't know what Tanya's gonna say. I'm gonna end with Tanya. I'm gonna go to Kevin next. But one of the things that I hear often is that, you know, a lot of times women are going into dating asking, what are you gonna do for me? And I said, you know, that would be problematic. Like, why is somebody asking what you're going to do for them?
It should be no.
But I think that I'm hearing that there are a lot of women who think that at a certain age, it means that the guy is supposed to be taking care of them. And so I have 3 sons. So that's offensive to me, because I've always said to them, you need somebody that's bringing as much to the table as you bring to the table. And so don't nobody want anybody that they have to just carry on their back. And so I think that when women ask those questions to a man, you know, it's probably an instant turnoff. So I don't know. All right. So Kevin and London are going to give us the perspective of what the brothers in this age group are doing and saying that they think presents challenges for dating over 40.
I thought we were going with Tanya. But
I'm going to end with Tanya.
Gotcha.
I needed to break up some of this femininity.
Come on with the feminine energy. Little feminine energy with a little alpha up in there. Okay.
That's right.
There's some alpha women up in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just for checking, check post check. So I think that personally, my experiences and the brothers I encounter, we probably find a lot. Let me tell you something. The Dallas scene is interesting. That's for sure. The Dallas dating scene is very interesting. Because you're either, when you find people of color, they're either consistent either in the professional category or the model wannabe rapper category. And there's no age restrictions in either one. So you're going to find all age ranges in there. So, and then again, it just goes back to, you know, do you want to take time to, like Kelly was saying, the back in the day dating, or, you know, telling me some of these, you know, apps, you know, it ain't for everybody. And it's about you knowing what you want, what you're willing to accept, what you're willing to tolerate. I think it still starts with us as individuals first. But if you're going to take those steps, you know, online dating ain't bad if you are, you know, you're a busy professional entrepreneur. And I feel it's an eliminator. You know, it's a time saver.
So, but do you have some friends, Kevin? Do you have some friends, some male friends who are out here in the dating, and you call them on their stuff, and you like, dude, you know that was messed up, that you led her on, or you know, I'm just trying to get in the head of y'all to see what it is you see from brothers. So we know what we think we see.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you, a lot of brothers, I feel like, because I feel like dating and the courting is still a chess game.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to give a little bit and play a little bit. I mean, it's just a back and forth, a playful affair. But I feel like a lot of brothers and sisters use this to their advantage or disadvantage, meaning that a lot of sisters will accept because of the ratio. And the problem with that is brothers will go to another sister who won't accept that and think they're going to get the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And continue that same process. And think you're going to find one. Somebody's going to give it up with a two-piece church chicken, and it's cool. And, you know, that's probably the biggest misconception I've seen between both genders. Biggest problem, you know, and rather than just save the game plan for that individual that you think you're going to rock with, for sure. Like, those are some good game plans. That's okay.
Right.
We just going to play a little game of volleyball. Just pass it back and forth. But, you know, at some point in time, you can't keep doing that and say two-piece chicken in churches, you know, on the road.
Right.
That's all I got.
Right.
You're going to get that.
I have a question. I have a question, Dr. Adrienne.
Wait, hold it. Put a pin in it, Tony, because I want to see what London has to say. And then we're going to go to switch it to something else.
Yeah.
I'll forget.
Okay, because I wanted London's outlook on it too as well.
Okay. All right, London.
Thank you, Adrienne, Dr. The issue now is the same issue that the young people after us are having, that we're having, our mothers had, and our grandfathers had, and with our grandmothers. It's the same issue that we never discussed. Women are taught to look for God in men before they're taught to look for God in themselves. And men are not taught to look for God in women at all. So that's where you have the differences in how a woman will buy into the whole, I want to be your rib, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And somehow the man has been elevated because of the pastor.
Speak up. They can't hear you. They can't hear you.
The man has been elevated because of the pastor that thinks that the man is the liaison between the humans and God. But technically, when you look at the God capacity of a woman and between the sexes, you understand that only a woman can have a life, carry a life, feed a life, nurture a life, bring a life into this world, and then raise a life on her own. Clearly, men should have a better idea, a better perspective of the God capacity of women, just the same way that women have the God capacity to you. Please mute if you're not speaking because of feedback. That's what Roy is saying. Please mute if you're not speaking. All right. So clearly, men don't have the same God capacity. And here's what I mean. So some people saying I'm lofty with mine. I know my homegirl. I know Black. I've been knowing them since they were teenagers. I know what I got to come to the table with. I know when Black come to the house, I know what she want to drink. I know she know where the food is at Pierre's house. She know what I got in my bag just in case something go left. I got 16 reasons why somebody shouldn't touch her. When she gets ready to walk out of the door, either me, Pierre, Jam, whoever's at the house, gonna walk into her house, and then we walk in, we're gonna see her, Terry, Carol, Adrienne. It's gonna be love. We're gonna make sure they're taken care of. See, that's a man seeing a woman's God capacity and acting accordingly. And even though you might see ladies and you might see a thought, but you're gonna get a thought the benefit of the doubt, because everybody has a God capacity until they show you they're not worthy of being treated as if they have it. That's been the issue. That's the issue now, and that's going to be the issue if Black men don't step up and start seeing the God capacity in women, like women see the God capacity in men. I'm going on mute. Tanya, you go ahead. I like your glasses. I like Tanya's glasses.
That's what I got.
Wasn't that good? Wasn't that good? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to take it back and then bring it forward real quick because I don't want to talk too long. But I think that back in the day, women were more feminine and men took more of a role of a leader. Mm-hmm. And then society, culturally, the way the government is structured, they broke up those homes where the Black men got sent to jail for minor things, and the women had to take the role of both parents. That's what happened with me. I raised 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl by myself. Not because he went to jail, but because that stigma from way back when, where men didn't feel comfortable stepping into that role because they didn't have role models. Yeah. They didn't have people to show them how to be a man and step in that role. So women had to do that. So we have been so independent that that's hurt us. So that's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Going forward, like right now, I totally agree with you, London, that we have to take a step back, push away from the table, and really assess what we want to see legacy-wise in the Black community. Right. Do we want to see the man back in that position where he belongs with a woman that is the strength behind him? Right. Do we want to see that? And so I think what's happened is because culturally we have the technology where men can have multiple relationships with multiple women because it's there. There's definitely the ratio of men to women. So there's a selection. So I said this earlier, I choose to be single because I choose not to settle. I'm looking for that man, that king that sees a queen in a woman and say, you know what, that's the one. Right. And I don't need that other stuff because she's what I'm looking for. Right. And yes, chivalry and those kind of things have kind of gone to the wayside, but you have to present yourself in a way that is an expectation of the way you carry yourself. And I know that a lot of men don't approach me because of that. I don't have time for the drama. Right. I'm not trying to compete with you and Susie and Jane and all them people. I'd rather just live my life and, I'm happy. So do I want someone in my life to add icing to my cake? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm not going to just take whatever icing you think you're going to give me because it's a limited amount of men or whatever. Because I believe in God and I know if he's got somebody for me, he's going to bring that person in my life, right? Absolutely. In the meantime, I'm going to keep building my legacy until that person happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Tony, you had a question and then I have a huge question for the group. You're on mute. You're muted.
I need to defer on that question at this time because what what London just stated, it touched my spirit in such a profound way. I'm processing. I genuinely am processing in a way that it has adjusted my spirit.
Okay.
But he does that every time. I love you, London. You do that every time.
Okay. All right. So, and he's deep like that. He is.
Yes.
I got a question. And again, this is your personal view on this, just who you are as an individual. So, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But and I think because we didn't get on the same page in terms of talking, dating, relationships, apprenticeships, whatever, all of that, it makes the question a little bit more challenging. But for you at this age, when you are beginning to engage in conversation with someone to, I guess, determine whether or not you're going to be in a relationship, or I don't know, because I don't know how you qualify it. When do you start the discussions about sex and intimacy? When is too soon? When is too late? I want to hear from everybody.
Oh, I go first.
Okay.
I'm quick to talk about it.
I know it.
I want to know as soon as I start spending time, resources, money, and I start taking time outside of my grind to spend time with you. So if that's Tanya with her ponytail and her library glasses on, I want to know off rip. Hey Tanya, listen. Here's where I am. I'm looking for a woman who has a really good communion with God. I'm looking for a woman who has impeccable subject-verb agreement and can talk that talk in Bankhead and in Buckhead. I'm looking for a woman who is passionate about something and she has it written down and she has intentions because she's intentionally walking and talking. And then right after that, can you lay that thing down so that I take a nap as soon as we're finished? Because I'll get up and get a wet rag and wipe it off with you tight and get you a rag so you can lay on that rag. But that's my 1, 2, 3, 4. God, subject verb agreement, your grind. Look here, your God, your man, your God, your guy, your grind. And then that thing. And for me, it's your God, my girl, my grind, and then that genitalia. I'm off. I'm done.
But my question still is, at what point in whatever the engagement? So is that 2 days,
Early.
3 days? Is that 2 conversations? Like, I'm just wondering.
Adrienne, depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I'll get it in day 1. And you have told me for 20 years, boy, don't do that.
Well,
but it depends. But it depends on the young lady that I'm conversing with. If I'm conversing with one of y'all, well, not you, Adrienne, because you my sister, that's nasty.
That's my brother.
But if I'm conversing with the other 3 of these right here, because I understand what frequency they on, before I tell them, hey man, bring the check or whatever. If I can feel it, then I'm going to get it in then.
Right.
But if I feel like she feels that what's between her legs is more important than what's between her ears and her shoulders, I'm gonna pay for that meal and get gone. I don't even want to talk about the sex.
Right.
But if she has talked about some level of utility on day 1, then I want to see if she's a sports pick, because I got a customized pickup truck. I'll get the Panamera, but that's for something to show. That customized pickup truck, Kevin, see, I can look good in it and I can haul things and make moves and make money. So as soon as she shows me that utility, then I want to talk about the sex. We didn't talk about my God. We didn't talk about my grind. We talked about the subject verb agreement. But look, why we got to hold off and wait 6 months? Because you might have all of that. But if you can't please me, you got to go.
All right, Kevin. That's my brother. Lord have mercy.
I mean, ain't much to follow. Thanks, bro. This is just in the show.
You're welcome.
Shit. I mean, no, real talk. Like if I don't, because I'm one that operates on frequency, energy, and vibration as well. Real talk. I was about to do my singing bowl with my copper cup for y'all, but if we don't, I don't feel vibration and energy right off the rip, So let me say it differently. If I feel it, is everything. And we done had conversations before we got to the restaurant. So we better have a good idea. This is for, COUCHversations for those over 40. They know 40, right? So you probably already had a couple of those conversations already.
Right.
Or something leading to that.
Right.
So now we at the meet and greet energy. And if I feel it's there, let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's keep it 100. And it's okay. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, and we all have options with no judgment. It's okay.
Right.
Bounce. If that's not a conversation you want to have right now, state that. Don't continue to play around it, tap dance around it.
Right.
But for me, it's as early in the conversation as possible. Because I know what I'm bringing to the table. And we probably gonna have that conversation as a good sister would ask, what do you bring to the table?
Right.
I'll tell you what I'm bringing to the table. But I like what I like too. So we're gonna talk about this very soon.
Thank you, Kevin. Oh, Kelly. When do you have the sex talk, ladies?
Well, the sex talk or the sex. I'm just kidding. You see, look, y'all see, I'm taking a whole lot of notes.
She's gonna skip over the talking. Yeah,
I mean, you said real talk for real solutions, and we real grown.
That's right.
Okay. I'm not now. What London say? When she think what's between her legs is better than what's between her ears, then he don't want it. Oh, I got stars all around that section. Okay. Because immaturity in relationships, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's off the chain, down there. But I like that. So I got stars. I'm taking notes. But the when you said the too little or too late or when and the time frame, it takes me back to the Steve Harvey, who I'm sorry, I love the 90-day rule, which I don't think it works. I don't think that's right. I just think that's kind of shit at our age, period. For me, if the attraction, it has to have attraction, and this is in the conversating leading up to the sexual talk. Because from what I've experienced, the men want to have the sexual talk kind of like right off the bat, and that's just not gonna fly at all. But if the attraction during the conversating, during the dinner, during the couple little dates, maybe the happy hour over chicken wings and a beer, whatever, but the attraction and the spiritual and the mental, if those are not there kind of immediately, then to me there's no physical that's even going to be in the conversation. But if it is there and over time, I just don't think you can put a real time limit on it at our age, because it can be 2 days. I could talk to you for 24 hours. 12 hours on the phone all night. He giggly. Oh my God, we discussing where we are in life. We discussing family. We discussing what we want. We discussing, hey, you were sharp the other day. I like you. I like you. I mean, you can sit on the phone for 12, 14 hours. You can sit on the phone for 2 hours a couple times. I mean, I just feel like at my age, I don't see a time. I don't see when it's too late or too early. But I'm not just about to be out here like Willie going north and Nanny going left just because I know that what's between my legs is good as what's between my ears, as London put it. But I mean, I just really don't know if it's a talk. I mean, and maybe I'll learn that maybe that's what men want. Maybe I will learn that. But I just still think that it's really not a time limit. Or if it's 2 weeks, oh, that's too soon. If it's 3 months, oh my God, why are we waiting this long? You're gonna miss the worm. You're sitting up there trying to wait 90 days. He might be gone. So I don't know. I just don't know if there's really a conversation, and that's something that I'm gonna learn from the comments.
Okay. All right, Tony.
For me, I agree as well. It can happen closer to the front end, in the middle, because for me, it's just based on the chemistry, how we communicate mentally, spiritually. You know, if the vibe is good, the conversation is great. We seem to really get along very well and have some things in common that we may have a passion about, which makes it better. Yeah, that can happen early. It can happen later. It's just no specific time frame on that. Because whether, you know, there's sometimes people have immediate physical chemistry. And if it just pops off immediately, like I've told some ladies, I mean, whether you do it immediately or whether you do it later, don't worry about whether someone calls you a hoe because they'll do it anyway. That has no bearings. It's just grown folks doing grown folk things, but doing it in a responsible manner that fits within what you're looking for, or if the vibe is good and you all are seem to be building a fairly good friendship, closeness-ship, you know, situationship, whatever it's leading to, it feels good.
Yeah.
It's good. And you know, as you're getting to know that person, hey, bust it open if you need to.
Oh Lord, Tanya.
Let him use.
Lord have mercy. Listen, I can't wait to have y'all on COUCHversations where y'all can just be totally all the way raw. Because y'all done been about that here tonight. Tanya?
Yes, ma'am.
When do you have the conversation about sex and intimacy?
Talk to me, Tanya.
Well, I like
And
sex.
Two different things. It's two different things.
I
I
said I like sex. So
let me Roy, can you mute Mr. Anderson for me, please, so we can hear the conversation?
You know, honestly, I think it's just a case-by-case situation. If you have chemistry and vibing and you both attracted to each other, you know, it happens. I don't think there's a timeline or all that crazy stuff. You know, we grown. I'm 52. Life is short. We ain't got time for all that drama.
Absolutely.
My kids is grown. I'm grown. And if you had asked me this question 20 years ago, I may have said, no, I'm going to wait and make sure this, that, and the third. Because we are taught as women to keep your legs closed.
Right.
Okay. And be selective. I'm selective now because what we not doing is sleeping around.
Right.
But I feel like, you know, you just have to, we have seasons, and this season right now is you meet somebody, you vibe and you like each other. I don't see the problem. That's what I got.
I have so many things running through my head right now, y'all. It's, you know, and so I am, and I don't know what London is over there doing. It's like he's over there exercising and that sort of thing. He over here smacking, and then Kelly's over here smacking, and so y'all are out of control. And so everybody over here agrees that we are sexual beings and that is okay. That is a natural, healthy part of relationships. It just can't be the foundation, because listen, and especially y'all at our age, that thing gonna go south. And so the foundation has to be built on something that is greater than that, which brings me to non-negotiables. Because I'm somebody that constantly talks to people about non-negotiables. And I say, if you don't know what your non-negotiables are, it's easy for them to come and sit before you at the dinner table and for you to compromise on. Because if you don't know what your non-negotiables are, you can connect with somebody who is bringing their representative to the table, which most people do initially. I don't care how transparent you are. You're going to go get your hair done. You're going to put on an outfit that looks nice. You want to do these things to present yourself in a certain way. Women not coming without their lashes on and their lipstick, and they not doing that. And brothers not coming, you know, looking tore up from the floor up, driving a hoopty, because you want to present, if it's somebody you're interested in, you want to present, you know, yourself in the best light possible. But in terms of non-negotiables, how important is it for you to share your non-negotiables with somebody that you are coming to the table with? Like, when do you do that part? Because I guess it depends on where you might see yourself going with this person. But even in terms of getting into the dialogue, when do you talk about what you won't tolerate? You know,
well,
so
let me just chime in real quick on that.
Let me give mine, my one.
Okay.
And Al knows this, and I've said this 100 times. I done had my po ass, so now I'm looking for my bo ass. So a brother that don't work and is not stable with his finances and economically does not have a plan to help create some generational wealth is not somebody who can call my name for anything. Like, that's a non-negotiable for me. And I got some more, but that one is at the top of my list. Yeah. All right, Tanya.
Well, I'll be quick. I think if we go back to communication, when you have that conversation with the person, one thing people don't understand is men will tell you anything you want to know, you just let them talk. So just take notes, listen, and you'll know if that's the person you want to further the ship. And so, you know, if he's all over the place and, you know, y'all just not vibing and the conversation is they have different things that you may not be okay with or whatever, then you just don't take it any further. So you don't have to necessarily have the list to tell them, but because you're going to find that out just having the conversation with them.
I agree.
But I have mine too. I mean, one of mine is what you said. I mean, he ain't got to be rich, but damn, have a job. You damn sure ain't gonna sit on my couch all day while I'm working. So if I'm grinding, you gotta be grinding
to be rich.
So that's one. And then two, you know, just have some morals, you know, don't smoke and, you know, that kind of thing. So we all have our pet peeves.
Right.
You know, I'm more like, I want a man that's, if he say he gonna do something, he do it.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Period. Pooh. And if he's him and humming, then that means he's scattered. He got too much going on. I won't be a priority. So I step out of that. So I think women and men, you just have to know what you want, know what you don't want. And there's a compromise in the middle. You know, you might meet somebody that's a little scattered, then he come back and he on it. Okay, he's on it. But again, you have to know what you want. You have to be mature enough to know what you want. And you have to ask those questions when you're talking to people. And I think we kind of rush to the bedroom and then we want to know if homeboy got a job. And it's like, you may want to figure that out before you went there. So that's my take.
Okay. When do you discuss non-negotiables? And I think Tanya makes a good point. Sometimes just in listening in the conversations, you automatically will hear that somebody has one of your non-negotiables. This ain't my pet peeve. This is a non-negotiable. This is the line in the sand. If this is how you are, this is what you do, then there's no need for us to go any further.
Are you asking for non-negotiables or when you ask for non-negotiables? Which one?
I said, how important is it for you to know when you introduce that into the ship? Whatever it is, when do you start to talk about your non-negotiables, or do you just do like Tanya and you just listen out for them and say, oh shit, I'm out. Yeah, that's one of mine, I'm out.
No, I'm a man, I'm bringing it up. I'm not trying to listen to wait because I don't have time for representatives. I'm like her, I'm making money. So I don't know about, here are my things. And if you don't have it, you talk about non-negotiables. I'm talking about this. Faith, FICO score, fellatio. Now, if you ain't got that right there, check, please. I'm back on mute. Go ahead, Kevin.
Can y'all believe he and I have been friends since we were 18 years old?
You got good friends.
And I just, you know.
They're good friends.
And would hurt somebody about him, honestly. Because he keep it real. He keep it 100. And what I can appreciate is that he's willing to say what other people are thinking, but that they walk around sending their representatives to the table on the dates, whatever, trying to act like something they're not. Just be who you are. And then the other person gets to decide whether or not that really works for them. So yeah, non-negotiables. When do you have the talk? So we heard London's perspective, Kevin.
I feel like it goes right up front as well. Because at some point, again, you know, we over 40, over 50 dating. Like, you ain't got time, money, or energy to waste. Get that shit out the way. So we can move on to the next one. You can't get time back. You can make some money back.
You can't get time back. You cannot get time back. And COVID-19 has shown us that we done lost a whole year with 2020. We looking up like, damn, we ain't had no homecoming. We ain't had no football game. We ain't had none of that. And so I said 2020 was going to show you who was for you and who was not for you. And so all this sitting around wasting, like we got another 40 years to live when you 50 years old is not reasonable. And so when you know what you want, then you got to be about your business about getting with who you want to get with. I mean, yeah, Al, London.
Adrienne, that white man with that makeup on and that hat said it eloquently when he said, time won't give you time. And time make lovers feel like they got something real. Now, that's the one thing Boy George said that I agree with.
Oh, Boy George. I was like, what white man are you talking about?
He's going to call on Thursday night.
He going to always have a song. He always got a song for you. Whatever it is, he always got a song. He always got a song. And all I could think of was a clown. And I was like, damn, who are you talking about? Ronald McDonald or the one that just left the White House? Anyway, Kelly, non-negotiables. Kelly, and I think having been inside of a relationship for 5 years, because I'm going to be honest with you, I think at this stage, and y'all know I ain't never been in a fight, but if I'm in some shit with somebody for 5 years and we not met, first of all, I'm not doing that.
I'm pissed. I am pissed.
You ready to find him and castrate him? I'm just keeping it real. Like, what the fuck? What were you doing? And then if you were not whole enough to be inside of this, then what? So
well, in all fairness, I can't say that it was 100% him. Now I'm being very transparent.
It never is.
And
it's always
some of the comments. Oh no, I mean, like I said, I've learned some of the comments that were said today.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was me. You know, with the doing everything and going on Fat Girlfriend trips. You see me going on my trips, but you also met me in between coming from Aruba and going to Jazz Festival and going to Essence every year with my friends. You met me within that month. You met me within 3 trips. So that's why that's kind of like, now that's non-negotiable because you said it was okay, but you sent your superficial self because after 3-4 years, now it started to be a problem. But then you in so long and you got grandkids and kids all mixed in it, you know, we lived together. It was just a mess. But in all fairness, it wasn't like he stepped out and messed around and I did this and it was things that I look back that I have grown just in this last year with being in COVID by myself and saying, okay, I shouldn't have did this. Maybe I should have came home instead of, going out to eat with my girlfriends after sorority meeting, staying out to 4 o'clock. So it's things, so it wasn't just, he must have did this. Kelly had a lot to do with it. So that's where the non-negotiables like that. The first one now is won't never, what's the song? I don't know now. Won't never move into Kelly's home ever. And that was a pattern. I did that with my, with my husband, and because I've always had the house. On my list is no roommates and Negroes with 1-bedroom apartments. That's big. No, I'm serious. That's big here in Cincinnati. Now, I'm talking grown ass men. I know you didn't got divorced, but geez, you should have a house by now. You know, I mean, I'm talking professional, nice grown men, 1-bedroom apartments. And I have driven by one and said, if I was in Detroit, Kelly, around my people, ain't no way in hell the first time he invited me to that apartment, I probably wouldn't have never went back. And that's a shame. And that goes to, like he said, about the regions and where you're from and what you're used to. But not being from here and kind of settling to fit in with Cincinnati, I wouldn't have never even gave him the time of day for that little 1-bedroom apartment. Now you living high off the log after you done lived off me. But anyway.
You know, but sometimes, Kelly, what if it's a situation where, and I guess this is where I'm going in terms of how deep you get inside of conversations before you get deep inside of a relationship, because just because somebody could be transitioning, somebody could be building a home, somebody could be trying to decide whether or not they're going to stay in a particular, so there are different reasons why, you know, somebody might be in an apartment. For me, there's no reason for you to be jobless. Like that one right there.
Oh yeah.
Like no. Yeah, you can go somewhere and get you some employment and be, you know, paying some bills. So yeah.
But I agree that has to be an immediate conversation, and it will come out in getting to know one another. Yeah. And when I say 1-bedroom apartment, I don't mean to be, you know, facetious, but if you all have seen this area, they like old houses and old stuff. And I mean, I'm not talking no fabulous, nice 1-bedroom that's decent, that's nice. I'm talking old school that I would never even set my foot in. Okay. And at 55, you've been divorced for about 6 years. You should be your transition period is up. But that was settling and kind of okay. I got a man. He's a good man. I'm not gonna bash that. But the non-negotiables definitely has to be spoken. And my friend here, a girlfriend of mine, she tell me all the time, you got to dig beneath the surface. Mm-hmm. You still, you know, kind of treading lightly to make things work, and you don't go in the surface. Mm-hmm. So those are, like I said, those are the different non-negotiables now that I'm definitely going to put in place going forward. But I still say immediately, even like she said, that conversation over coffee. Yeah. That's an easy answer immediately, because you don't want to waste time.
All right.
In 5 years.
Right. That part. Okay, Miss Tony.
Yes. For me, the non-negotiables, that's something that is immediate. And again, that'll come in the dialogue and the conversation that myself and the gentleman may have. But from a sexual non-negotiable, don't ask me to send a pic. Don't ask for a hoo-ha pic after soon, you know. Please don't do that, because when they ask for that hoo-ha pic, I send them a picture of a hairless cat all wrinkled. I think it's the Sphinx. I sent a picture of that. There's your big old hoo-ha. Ain't she pretty? Mm-hmm. Oh, so, but as far as the non-negotiables, I think those are conversations that can be had from day one, just based on how the conversation goes and the dialogue between the two.
Yeah.
But again, if that dialogue is going good, non-negotiables seem to be aligning with one another. Mental, spiritual, physical seems to be parallel with one another. Hey, you know, just keep going and see where it goes, but don't take too long. Mm-hmm. Because you know what you want. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take long to figure out whether you want that person sooner than later for something much more serious. It doesn't take 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Right.
So I would say, particularly at our age, let's get the logistics out the way off top.
Right.
Let's Go ahead and get that conversation taken care of. Let's get the hard part, rip the Band-Aid off, and then everyone can move forward with a more open dialogue.
Right. And I think that part is important, Tony. You know, I was thinking about the word consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I found is that, you know, a lot of times people have a different perception of, again, what it is you're doing inside of this ship, because Tanya, I call them the ships as well, what it is you're doing inside of the ships. And so you got one person thinking one thing, the other person thinking something else. And
Correct.
so when you are in this space of connecting, whether you gonna call it talking, dating, a relationship, companionship, whatever it is, the only way to get to know somebody and to expand and grow the relationship is through consistency. And so when people think that they can just touch bases every now and then, and I did say every now and then,
right?
I don't know how people can possibly think that you can build upon anything, because it's the same thing with learning math. It takes consistency and practice in order to learn a concept. And so dating and relationships is the same way. You can't think that you can be inconsistent and still be building something that is meaningful and deep.
That's true. And what I would like to say about that is I've seen where men and women come into a relationship and they have consistently had bad relationships and will continue to do the same routine over and over in the next relationship. You must adjust, you must realign, and you must go ahead and say, this is a different person, different relationship. See how I can move forward or build a ship person based on our communication, not based on the past, not based on the ghosts from all the other relationships. And a lot of people tend to do that. They've got to learn with the consistency. You still have to have a transition and a shift when you're going into a new relationship.
Yeah.
Because everybody needs their own fair shot to be their genuine self.
Yeah.
In a relationship. Yeah. And then you see if it works for you, if it does, great. If it doesn't, hey.
Deuces.
Peace.
Well, let me just say this. You all have been a lively, passionate panel, and I appreciate you so much. I want to ask you to give me one word that would be the most important characteristic for you inside of, you know, this whole dating thing, and as you seek to partner up, if you seek to partner up or whatever, what's the one most, because Tanya looking, she like, wow, absolutely, because I want one. I don't want 3, 4, 5, and 10. I don't want your list. I want the most important characteristic or character trait for you in a mate or a date or whatever, potential mate or whatever the hell we calling it, because I don't even know what to call it these days. Y'all still thinking this? Look, this I feel like I need to be playing some Jeopardy music. Y'all playing?
I'm thinking.
Well, it's not just one.
One word.
It's really just one, but I can give you one of them, of the list for me. But go ahead, London.
Nah, I said I was waiting. Go ahead.
Just one. The most important one.
Intentional. It ain't that hard. My word is intentional.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mine's gonna be hyphenated. Mine's hyphenated. Authentic communication.
Okay. That's 2, but okay.
He hyphenated it.
Right. That was hyphenated. Okay, but okay. Authentic communication, intention. Okay, what else we got?
Mine has genuinely been consistency.
Consistency. All right, we got consistency, intentional, Authentic communication.
Loyalty.
Dang.
Period.
I want all them words, but I think honesty would be mine.
The transparency.
Yeah.
Consistency, intentional, consistent, authentic communicator, loyal, and honesty. Y'all, that's it right there. Those things right there are the basis of a healthy relationship. And so when I am working with couples and I talk about this foundation, you know, and what it is your foundation inside of a relationship will be built upon, these are some of the pillars that I talk about. And so intentional, consistent, authentic communication, loyalty, and honesty. You know, and then I know if I allowed y'all to give your top three, sex is going to be up in there. And, you know, because, and here's the thing, physical connection is very important. And what people don't realize is that when you have a healthy, physical, intimate relationship, when shit goes south, and it will go south, you have something that connects you that's deeper than just both of your opinions and ideas and values and belief systems. You have connected on another level. And so you have that to build upon in terms of growing a loving relationship. So I appreciate y'all more than you know. And what I know for sure is that when Tanya and I get the dating game kicked off over there on COUCHversations, that some of y'all gonna come on there and be some contestants, or at least be some audience participants, if nothing else, because you know, who knows, after this, some of y'all might be off the table, some of y'all might be off the market, who knows. And my goal is always connecting people, good people, because all of you are great people, that can help each other grow and be better people. So I appreciate you and I love you so much. And thank you all for being here for COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne. Real talk with real people for real solutions. And so next week is the very first segment of the Power Hour, Conscious Coupling. And so the third Thursday of every month, I will spotlight a couple that's doing it, not necessarily perfectly, but have made the decision to keep doing it. And so make sure that you join us, because I think that you will know next week's guest. So certainly if you are a Howard Bison or a FAMU Rattler, you don't want to miss this, because you know these people. So join us. And again, thank you to my guest. This has been Dating Over 40, the ups and downs, and hopefully this conversation has enriched your perspective. If you are someone who is dating over 40, hopefully you got something from this conversation. And if nothing else, you get the opportunity to make you a better you. So love y'all so much, and I will see you next week for COUCHversations with Dr. Adrienne on the Jericho Broadcast Network.